Hello, and welcome to another edition of You Call That News, Landmark College's premier television news show. I'm Will Watson, joined today by John Pearlstein. Tonight's top stories: corruption charges rattled the Philadelphia Police Department, online parking payment in Boston, and new record setting gives a new meaning to the term Burning Man.
But first, bad news from Windham County. New Census Bureau estimates indicate that the populations of Windham and several other Vermont counties are continuing to decline. Executive Director of Windham Regional Commission, Chris Company, says the latest figures point to a continuing and troubling trend. Officials report that the residents of these declining counties are asked to work together to help save these counties.
In cooperation with the Arizona State University, coffee giant Starbucks is now offering its U.S. employees free four-year college degrees. Almost 2,000 employees have already enrolled in the company Starbucks College's Achievement Plan since the program's launch in June 2014. To be eligible for full tuition, employees must work at least 20 hours per week. Starbucks, although students are not required to stay with the company after graduating. CEO Howard Schultz says that too many Americans can no longer afford college degrees, while others are saddled with the burdensome education debt.
More evidence was presented last week in a corruption trial embroiling in the Philadelphia Police Department. For more info, we turn things over to Gerald Flatman. Gerald?
John, I'm standing in front of the Philadelphia Super Courthouse, where a trial against 6 undercover police officers has entered into its 10th week. The officers stand accused of stealing drugs, cash, and other valuables from the drug dealers they were supposed to be gathering evidence against. What's more, the officers are charged with entering and searching a house without following proper procedure and without obtaining the proper warrants. Lawyers for the defendants have attacked the prosecution case, stating that it relies on 19 lying drug dealers and a dirty, despicable ex-colleague. Still, another former police officer stated that he and other officers in his unit threatened and beat drug dealers, allegedly even hanging them over high-rise balconies. At this time, lead defendant Thomas Dello is in custody, and 5 other defendants remain on house arrest. Back to you, William.
The Institute of Medicine says that if we want fewer youths to smoke, we should raise the minimum legal age for purchasing tobacco products. The Institute points out that tobacco severely affects between the ages of 15 and 17, and these children have often older family or friends buy tobacco for them. Should the minimum buying age be raised to 25 or 22, we would see a drop in disease and deaths associated with smoking.
Technology, business, and political leaders are condemning a Religious Freedom Restoration Act signed into law last week by Indiana Governor Michael Pence. The law states that the government cannot substantially burden a person's ability to follow their religious beliefs unless it can be proven a compelling interest on imposing that a burden or do so in the least restrictive way. However, the law has been highly criticized in the U.S. and abroad as being discriminatory, especially against the LGBTQ community. Critics argue that the law allows business owners to refuse service to or refuse to hire gays or lesbians on the grounds that doing so would infringe on the business owner's religious beliefs.
New research indicates that Anne and Margot Frank most likely died in the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp in February of 1945, not March of that year as previously believed. 70 years later, the Anne Frank House in Amsterdam had revealed that after consulting the Bergen-Belsen Memorial Archives of victims who survived the Holocaust, it appears both sisters were gravely ill in January, caught in the typhus epidemic which swept through the camp and claimed their lives.
Today, drones play an increasingly significant role in the United States military operations. In the past, drones have primarily operated in support and intelligence-gathering capacities. In recent years, however, the drones have engaged in more and more deep strike capabilities, taking out high-value targets or laying the groundwork for a land invasion. But what happens when drones crash? A recent series of high-profile drone crashes have called into question the secrets these drones reveal when captured. Since last year, the number of crashes has increased, either as a result of enemy fire, electrical malfunction, or basic maintenance issues.
Boston runners are celebrating the first warm days of spring by taking to the streets to train for this year's marathon. As Bostonians get set to mark the 2nd anniversary of the 23rd deadly finish line bombings, Mayor Marty Walsh announced a moment of silence to commemorate those lives who were lost or affected in the attack. The moment of silence will take place on Wednesday, the 15th at 2:49 in the afternoon, this time where the first bombs exploded 2 years ago.
In lighter news from Boston, drivers in the city will soon be able to pay for parking with their smartphones. Mayor Marty Walsh announced to the press on April 1st that the Park Boston program will update all coin-fed meters with an internet-connected system, allowing drivers to purchase parking time through a cell phone app. The system has undergone testing in parts of the Back Bay area since February. Stickers mark each spot with designated zone numbers. Drivers enter their zone number and license plate into the Park Boston app and choose how much time to pay for. You can even use the app to purchase more parking time, so you don't have to run back to your meter. The system is an update, and meters can still be coin-fed as normal. The new parking system will be rolled out in the remainder of Back Bay and the Fenway area. And now it's over to Justin De La Garza with some news on the United States chess race.
In the game of chess, the USA feels the need to buy and recruit top players from other countries to switch their allegiance to America to help win the Olympian gold chess medal, something the U.S. has not done in decades. As Jon Stewart says in The Daily Show, it has to be the U.S. has to be the best of everything, such as economics, military power, obesity, and teen pregnancy. Let's face it, we could nurture and build our own home chess team with years of hard work and dedication, but we'd rather just pay others to do it for us. Back to you, Will.
Thinking of getting a new dog? Adopting a pet can be a great and rewarding experience, but there are several steps to take when adopting. Before you bring the dog home, make sure you buy a proper leash and collar. Make sure your house is well stocked with the proper dog food. Once home, keep the dog on a leash and show him the house. Teach the dog the house rules and set boundaries. Be sure to make it clear which rooms are off limits and where the feeding area is. And if you want a new dog, why not adopt a shelter pet? The Windham County Humane Society can introduce you to some furry friends who just want to be loved. Give the Humane Society a call today at 802-254-2232.
And finally, word came in today that another unusual record has been just set. Joe Toadling, professional stuntman, actor, and holder of unusual records, has set the world record now for running a long distance while on fire. Mr. Toadling's world record is 196 miles. That's right, running for almost 200 miles while on fire. Joe says that he is proud to hold more than one record and that this record is his hottest. And thanks for watching tonight's edition of You Call That News? And I'm your host, John Perlstein. And I'm with William Watson. Stay classy, Brattleboro.